What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I got a lot of gaming stuff I want to touch on, as well as share my thoughts on Paradise now that season one is over, and a movie called Last Breath. So, I hope everybody out there is doing well. It has been a very eventful week for me and my family this last week. I'll recap some of that stuff in a second for those of y'all that didn't watch my episode I did a few days ago, kind of detailing things. But before I get into all that, as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and/or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Dad Needs to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, TV shows, movies, and some video games. So, like I said, hope everybody out there is doing well. Like I said, I'm just to kind of briefly touch on this because I did a whole separate episode a few days ago about it or whatever. But like I said, it has been a eventful week here in my household. Last Wednesday, we had to deal with a call in of a potential bomb threat at my oldest kid's school, and so that was a whole ordeal. Thankfully, it was false. Everybody's safe and stuff. Um, but yeah, so that was a lot to deal with last week. On top of just general day to day life stuff, and work has been pretty busy and ramping up and stuff with different projects I got going on at work. But yeah, so if you want more deeper thoughts and stuff on the school incident or whatever, go listen to the previous episode that I put out, where I kind of talk about that at length or whatever. But for today, just wanted to just kind of move on and talk about some other things. Um, Cause yeah, I've kind of gotten a chance to kind of relax and play some games and start getting into watching more TV stuff, whatever. Which I'll get into all that in a moment. But first off, I gotta say shout out to all of the various high schools across the nation, but of course we're here in Texas. Shout out to all the teams that left it all out there on the floor over this past week, or actually this whole season leading up to these moments, whatever. But this weekend was all of the state championships for the boys here in Texas. And a few of these are kind of personal to me. So let me switch over real quick. So let me see, kind of going through the list. So Dallas Kimball, they beat Houston, Washington. We know a young guy on that team uh, who plays with Kimball, but unfortunately he was injured. So I know, it's cool. He got a ring, but I know he kind of probably was wishing he was actively playing and stuff. So, but shout out to them. Uh, Mansfield Summit beat Fort Bend Marshall. That's another team that we know a young guy on, the main point guard on Mansfield Summit, Theo. Shout out to him. Um, and that team for pulling it off because last year they went pretty far in the playoffs. I think that they made it to the Final Four last year. And so for him and his team to kind of come back a year later and take it all the way and win it was super awesome. Uh, Beaumont Westbrook. So y'all know I'm from Southeast Texas, the 409, which is the area that I'm from Jasper, but Beaumont is kind of still in that same little area. Beaumont Westbrook beat North Richland Hills Birdville in an overtime game, which I am so upset I did not get to watch. So the UIL, uh, they have a sports page where they do live streams of high school sporting events and stuff. And so, because, especially with, all the state games were down in San Antonio or whatever, maybe one of these years, maybe we might, take a trip down there or whatever for one of those, or who knows, maybe some of my kids might make it someday. But But I was like, cool. I'll just sign up for the subscription thing. It was like $11 for a month, which I need to make sure I cancel that this week. But yeah, I got to watch most of the games except for that Beaumont game, which I was like, man, I got to see like them warming up, and then the stream was messing up, and I didn't get to watch none of it. And then when I checked in a couple hours later, or whatever, it was like, oh, Beaumont won in overtime. I'm like, what overtime? But anywho, moving on. Uh, Denton Geyer beat Katie Jordan by 1 point to get their first basketball championship. And then the grand finale, Duncanville, which is up here in Dallas area, versus Houston Bel Air, and they won by 2 points. So all of the games I got to watch. So I got to watch the live stream for the Mansfield versus Fort Bend. I got to watch Dengar versus Jordan and Duncanville versus Bel Air. All those games were fantastic. Like, let me see, because yeah, Mansfield Summit, that was a 45 to 40, 54 to 47 win. Beaumont Westbrook was a 63 to 57 in overtime. Denton Geyer was a 48 to 47 win, and Duncanville was a 54 to 52 win. So lots of heart pounding games that went down to the wire. So shout out to all those young athletes and stuff. And stuff. So yeah, so it was cool getting to kind of watch all of those games and stuff. So and continuing on with sports stuff, whatever. My kids, they had their first kind of like uh, AAU season tournament this weekend or whatever. They did okay and stuff. So, but it was kind of good for them to kind of get things going. Kind of shake the dust off and kind of work on team chemistry and stuff. So, but they played a handful of games across Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So, and shout out to my wife because she took mom duty on that and was there all weekend doing that stuff. So, but but yeah. So shout out to all the youths out there doing sports. Now, as for myself, before I get into the gaming stuff, whatever, so I have been having this phone for over 4 years, maybe 5 or so. This is a Samsung Galaxy S20 FE Fan Edition that I got at the time. And it served me well, but it's really been chugging along. Like it takes a long time for it to charge, but it takes little to no time for the battery to drain. And so I was like, you know what? Time for me to treat myself, as I said at the end of all my shows. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to finally upgrade my phone. And so as I'm kind of looking around, searching stuff, whatever, I was like, you know what? A phone company that I enjoyed many years ago, but I hadn't gotten in a while, was OnePlus. So I started doing my research a few weeks ago. And long story short, I ended up getting the OnePlus 12. So this is a pretty substantial upgrade spec wise from my old phone because, like, the 12, let me see, the model I got has 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage. So, yeah. And so yeah, so it's been a very awesome phone to have. And yeah, and I had to update my background. Previously, I had a panel from Villain Saga, but on this, I had got a panel from a series that I enjoyed that I talked about last year called Rainbow. I think it's like the 6 from Block 2, Cell 6 or something like that or whatever. Super awesome manga, but I put that as a background. And one of the cool little features that I like, see if I can get this on camera, my rotation, look at that little animation when I'm flipping pages and stuff. It just looks so freaking cool. But anyway, so yeah, so this has been one of my new toys this weekend was playing around with my new phone and getting things set up and transferred and reconfigured and all that jazz and stuff. So, but yeah, so finally, after a handful of years, finally upgraded and stuff. So I should be getting set for some years to come on that front. Okay, so now I'm going in, because I don't have too much else life stuff going on I want to touch on today. I just kind of want to keep chugging along. So I want to dive into some gaming stuff. So this week, and this has been a combination of many months of build up with Vash, and then a new game came out that made me finally go and dig out my Switch. I had to go and retrieve my Switch. Now, the funny thing is that my Switch was kind of missing, but not really because it was really right in front of my face. But so I have two Switches. So I have my OG model, which is right here on my manga shelf behind me underneath this phone box. That I've had that. That was my launch one. Well, over a year ago or whatever, for whatever reason, the screen just stopped turning on. So like it powers on and stuff, whatever, and it works when you put it in a dock. But when you're holding it in handheld mode, it's just a black screen. You can see that it's lit up, so it's getting power or whatever. For whatever reason, it never displays. So anywho, so a couple years ago, whatever, I ended up going to a pawn shop and getting this was a Animal Crossing model 3DS because I had the kind of like turquoise, the Animal Crossing, blah blah blah. Anywho, so long story short, hadn't really just been in the mood to really play Switch stuff, whatever, because we know the hardware just turned 8 years old. A few days ago, matter of fact, it just had its 8th anniversary. So the Switch came out in 2017. It's the same age as Vash. Vash will be 8 on his birthday later this year. But anywho, so I had tucked it away, or I thought the one I thought I had tucked away in a backpack or whatever was my older one that doesn't work. And so when I finally decided, like, you know what, this new game I'm gonna touch on in a second or whatever, let me go pull out the Switch or whatever. So I go to the backpack, pull out the Switch, and I'm like, crap, this ain't the one. This is not the one I thought it was. So then I'm like, oh my God, all these months I've been like, yeah, I know where my main Switch is. I've been thinking about the broken one. So, anywho, I'm searching, digging up stuff, checking other things, cabinets, drawers, nothing, not finding. I'm like, oh my God, like, where is my Switch at or whatever? And then I found it right underneath my TV and or whatever, inside of my black and gold Pikachu case covered in a layer of dust. So I got it out and stuff, whatever, but I ended up having to do something I did not want to do. I went out and bought a new pair of Joy-Cons because the Animal Crossing ones, and it made me remember the reason why I didn't have the Switch or wasn't using it for a while was because on the Animal Crossing joystick, the right one, the analog stick somehow got broken off. Bash playing with it, his cousins, whoever, it got broken off, and so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I had some older other thumbsticks, whatever, but they were kind of janky, stick drift and all this stuff, whatever. So okay. I'm like, even though yes, Switch 2 is imminent, it'll be out with probably within the next few months, whatever. Do I really want to spend freaking 60, 70 plus dollars on some freaking Joy-Cons? And so I was like, you know what? Even though the Switch 2 is coming out and I will be getting it, I was like, I know that Vash will still be happy to play the original Switch. So this be kind of just an investment on his long term gaming because he's been asking, he's been wanting to get back to playing Mario and Yoshi and this other little game we love playing called Boomerang Fu, all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me go get it. So I went and got the new Joy-Cons, whatever. But like I said, there was a particular game that was the catalyst for all of this. So it is this little game called MainFrames. It is out only on the Switch and on Steam, but you play as a freaking floppy disk going through levels that are literally just like old school PC based, where all the environments and everything is basically like you're a floppy disk playing through a platformer inside of a computer. And so the way I saw this was I'm subscribed, to the Nintendo YouTube channel or whatever. So when I was at work the other day, I had the channel up or whatever, the my YouTube subscription feed or whatever open, and I'm just doing my work whatever, and then on my other screen over here whatever, I had refreshed the page for something, and then I saw this, just like the thumbnail, it was like of this picture called Mainframes. So I'm like, okay, let me see what this is. So I click on it, and just immediately I fall in love because, like I mentioned before, I work in IT, and I've always been, into technology and stuff, whatever. And I'm a 90s baby, so like this whole look and aesthetic and stuff, whatever, just really took me down memory lane. And then even the music was just cheerful and joyous, whatever. So this was the catalyst that kind of finally got the ball rolling with me getting picking up my Nintendo Switch again or whatever. But yeah, shout out to Mainframes. I've played maybe like an hour or so of it so far. I've made it through, some of the levels and stuff, whatever. Matter of fact, this one right here, that's the one I just got past, whatever. But yeah, but man, it's just such a fun and wholesome game. But I will say it definitely has some difficulty because some of the traverse stuff you gotta do in them levels or whatever is pretty tough, but it's still fun to play. And like I said, just like seeing how they are doing the PC centric environments and stuff. So, but yep, see Mainframes right there. And then of course, Vash, he went back. He's been playing more of Super Mario Brothers Wonder and Mario 3D World, Boomerang Food. That's our go-to co-op game, and I've talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again. If you are looking for a fun, kind of like family-friendly battle royale type of little game, Boomerang Food is basically this game where you play as all these different little characters. Some of them are a lot of like food themed, where you might be a watermelon, you might be a cup of boba, you might be a donut, uh, grapes, whatever the case may be, or whatever, a coffee mug, and it's just you just go through all these different environments, and you get these different boomerangs with abilities or whatever, and pretty much it is just one hit kill, more or less, whatever. So it's just like a survival thing where you can do either team up and be on teams, you can do just free for all, everybody for themselves. There's other different little challenges or whatever, but it is just such a fun and simple time. And me and Vash love playing it. So shout out to Boomerang Foo. Let me see. I had finally bought him Yoshi's Crafted World. So I get a lot of mileage, especially with Vash, and myself sometimes, but especially with Vash, on game demos. I download them. He loves them. He'll play them, or whatever. But sometimes I feel bad, especially when I didn't have the money, or whatever. Of like, man, he really loves this game, but I can't, especially Nintendo stuff, man. I can't afford that game, or whatever. Well, I had a little extra play money, or whatever, this week, and he saw the Switch is back in motion. He been loving it, been playing it or whatever. And so he was playing the Yoshi level, and he was like, Daddy, I want to play more or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Do you want this game? And he was like, yeah. So I went and I bought it off the eShop, whatever. It was actually on sale because it's normally, Nintendo says normally $60, whatever. It was on sale for $40. I was like, you know what? I bought it, downloaded it. He's been playing it all weekend. And then the other game me and him kind of were bonding over earlier today was this game called Pepper Grinder. So Pepper Grinder is another kind of like platformer type of game where you play as this girl who has a drill, And so basically, you have this drill, and you're like drilling through the level. It's really based off of like momentum and stuff, whatever. As you're kind of like flying through these different levels, digging to collect items and to fight enemies and stuff, whatever. And so yeah, so there was a demo of that I had downloaded. Who knows how long ago, last year, whatever. And so been playing it or whatever, and it was really fun. The bits of it we got to play and stuff, whatever. Vash was loving it, so I was like, you know what, this might be another one. In the near future, I might, end up picking up whatever for us to fully play through whatever. But yeah. So shout out to Pepper Grinder. That is like such a fun name and stuff. And then I'm trying to think. So as for myself, one game that I've been into for the last week, whatever. Speaking of more treats for myself, I finally picked up Lies of P. So I've had the demo for it since before the game came out, almost 2 years ago now, whatever. And I enjoyed the demo. It immediately gave me Bloodborne vibes. But, I hadn't really played any Souls games in years or whatever, just because, due to the nature of a lot of them being where you can't pause and stuff, and because of where my family life was with the kids and stuff, some years back, I was like, I can't really, that's one reason why I really stopped playing a lot of multiplayer games like Destiny and stuff, whatever, was because it's like, I can't be deep in some mission stuff, whatever, and then I get a family thing I got to take care of, or a screaming baby, whatever the case may be, or whatever. But long story short, once again, this was also on sale, so I was like, you know what, I enjoyed the little bit I played of the demo, or whatever, over the last couple of years, because I even went back last year and was playing more of the demo, because they had updated it or whatever since the game came out, and it's a pretty lengthy demo. And so I was like, you know what? It's time. I bought it. Like I said, I heard great things about the full game, including the ending of the game. And so with that Lies of P uh, prequel DLC thing coming out this summer or whatever, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to go and start now, so I can just slowly chip away at it or whatever. And so I'll just say where I'm at right now in the game. I just got to, what's his name? Vanini, something like that or whatever. The kind of like manufacturer type of dude or whatever. So that's where I'm at in the game right now. So I'm about 8 hours in. I think I'm like level 39 with my character, and it's been such a fun yet challenging but also rewarding game, and just really made me think about how much I missed playing a game like this, where like, yes, it is tough at times, whatever, but it is doable. I can overcome these challenges and stuff, whatever. So that's kind of been like a nice little thing where, I kind of like slowly play through a bit or whatever, make my way, get to like another safe spot or whatever, and then maybe call it there for the day, or maybe just take a break from there, go do some other family stuff, whatever, and then come back later that night or whatever. Or if I'm getting my butt beat or whatever, I'll be like, hey, I'll put it down for the night, and then check in on it the following day. So it's been a nice little kind of, game to kind of like slowly whittle away at, as my schedule and time and stuff permits. So, but yeah, so shout out to Lies of P. So now I'm gonna kind of just briefly touch on and just shout out some gaming news related things, just some things people might be interested in. So the new game called Split Fiction, which is from the same studio that did It Takes Two and The Way Out, and one of my personal favorites, one of their first games, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. So Split Fiction came out this weekend, and I've been hearing nothing but great things with it, whatever. I don't know, maybe I can maybe convince my wife to play this with me, whatever, because me and her never really play co-op games and stuff together, because I'll be on my PlayStation playing my single player story stuff. She'd be on her Xbox playing most of her multiplayer stuff, whatever. So, we have some things we enjoy together, but a lot of our like baseline tastes are kind of like polar opposites. But I've heard nothing but super good and fun things about that game. So Split Fiction, that is out right now. Um, Monster Hunter Wilds, that game is out. Came out about over a week ago. It's already sold over 8 million copies. So shout out to all the people who's been having fun playing Monster Hunter. I know Polo from Mike Chick, he's been streaming it here and there. He's been loving it and stuff. So shout out to that game. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4 remake is coming out this July. So I know a lot of people were thoroughly pleased with the 1 plus 2 remake that came out a few years ago. And so very cool to see that they're finally able to do the next set or whatever. But yeah, so that's coming out this summer. And it's gonna have like the deluxe edition will come with Doomslayer and a Remnant and stuff as playable characters. So that should be fun. Uh, Let me see what other news things, highlight things. I feel like there's something else. Oh yeah, so okay, so there was this game that was shown off a while back called Hell Is Us. It's coming out in September. So there is a lengthy kind of maybe like a 6 minute gameplay video thing that they did the other day on their YouTube or whatever, just kind of showing off more of the game. And the game, like the world and stuff, looks really interesting and cool. Kind of like one of like the main hooks of this is that kind of like there's like little to no help and stuff with the game. It's kind of a lot of like exploration and kind of like piecing things together on your own. So just want to put that on more people's radar if that might be something you might be looking into. Let me see. What is another thing? Sorry, I'm trying to. We got a new trailer for Last of Us TV show. Oh yeah, Death Stranding 2 got a release date of June 26th, so just a handful of months away. They did a 10-minute long trailer for it today that looked freaking cool. Now I'll say I never really played the original Death Stranding. I have it because it was on PlayStation Plus or something years ago, or whatever. So I have it, and I've been thinking about trying it out because a buddy of mine that I used to work with years ago, I think we were working together back when it came out or whatever, and I remember him falling in love with it and stuff. But I've never really been into a lot of Kojima's games. I never really played much of any of the Metal Gear games and stuff. So, and Death Stranding, I don't know, but like I said, I've heard great things about it, and this sequel looks freaking crazy. But yeah, so just putting that on people's radar. If you curious, like I said, it's coming out June 26th, 10-minute long trailer. But I would say if you don't want no spoilers, whatever, maybe avoid watching it or whatever. Because even as somebody who doesn't have full context for the games and stuff, whatever, I know enough to where I'm like, if I was somebody who was already sold on playing the game, whatever, I probably wouldn't want to see the stuff that they showed in that trailer because they showed a lot. Because every time you thought it was over, nope, it went on for another couple minutes. And okay, it's winding down. Nope, going on for another couple minutes. All right, finally, it's winding down. All right, one last little sneak peek at something, whatever. So yeah, so just wanted to mention that to y'all. But yeah, so aside from that, I think that's all the gaming stuff I wanted to touch on. So I think I'm gonna dive into some show stuff. All right, so I'm about to jump into talking about some TV and movie stuff. So before I get into the movie stuff, whatever, I want to just talk about really quickly. So I'm trying out something. So I've mentioned before how like movies is kind of like my peaceful time, to where it's like I have no problem going to the movies by myself, and like I said, it is like a peaceful time for me because it's like, hey, I can just kind of be to myself, just kind of get myself lost in a good movie, and for a couple hours of the day, whatever, I'm not stressed out about any life worries, work, family, kids, anything, whatever. It's just me and this big screen. And so, I have my spurts where, okay, I go, don't go for a while, whatever. And so I was going to buy some tickets, whatever, this weekend, and I do for many years. I buy all my ticket stuff through Fandango, and so a little prompt came up or whatever for like a membership thing. So I remember last year they had like some form of it they were starting or whatever. Well, so this one popped up or whatever, and it was like, okay, it's $100 for a year, and you get well, at least like with this particular sign up thing, whatever. It was like, okay. They emailed me a code for 2 free tickets off the bat. So I'm like, okay. And then after that, you get $10 a month every month, the whole duration of your subscription to go towards um, movie tickets and stuff, and all online and convenience fees. All that stuff gets waived. You get extra rewards points. So I'm kind of like thinking about it, or whatever, talking to my wife about it, and she's like, you know what? You go enough already, but this might also kind of basically pay for itself. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, it kind of will though. I was like, cause $10 a month for a whole year, that's $120. So I'm already up positive a few bucks. And then, especially like during like the few rare times a year where I take multiple of my kids to see things, so it's not just me and not just me and one of my kids. It's something where like two, three of them or more go, and so those online fees start stacking up pretty quickly. So I was like, you know what? I'll give this a shot or whatever and just see. So saying all that to say, I'll report back later on to see how fruitful this was. But so I went to go see the movie called Last Breath. It is based off of a true story, and it stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole. So this movie basically follows these deep sea divers, which let me see if I can find their job title. Okay, so they are saturation divers, and those are basically people who maintain the undersea gas lines in the North Sea. So very dangerous work. And so basically the movie follows or is about one of the guys that do so when they go out to do the repairs and stuff, whatever. So it's like several teams in groups of three that are going to be working on different sections of these underwater pipes, whatever, for this huge project. Well, as they're going out or whatever, they it is a horrible storm going on or whatever, but they're also like, well, this is the North Sea. There's always crazy storms or whatever, so they still push forward. Well, long story short, things go bad, and one of the guys ends up getting disconnected and stranded down on the seafloor. And so it is basically just like a survival thriller, just kind of following what happened with him and this whole situation or whatever. Uh, it was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. It's only an hour and some like an hour and a half, I believe. Yeah, 93-minute run time. So yeah, an hour and a half barely. But it was still a solid watch. And honestly, like deep sea diving, especially like for like work stuff like this, whatever, you always know in your mind, oh yeah, that is probably a crazy, a dangerous job, whatever. But actually, just getting to see just like bits and pieces of the process with, what they got to do with the decompression and the preparation before they can even go underwater, and then they got to come back up and like do all this stuff, whatever. It kind of reminds me of the appreciation I got when I watched the anime a couple years ago called Space Brothers, where it's like once again it's like obviously it takes a lot to become an astronaut and then go into space and all this stuff, whatever. But seeing more in depth detail and look at the process of how they go about all the different trainings and different things and preparations and stuff, whatever, before they can go on a mission or whatever and things like that. I kind of got those similar vibes when I was watching this movie. So, um, like I said, it's based off of a true story, whatever, and it. If you don't want to hear any more, skip ahead a little bit. I'm gonna just touch on some spoiler stuff very briefly, whatever. But I will say I'm glad, one, that the guy survived. It is crazy that he pretty much was without oxygen for almost like 30 minutes, almost like 20 to 30 minutes, whatever. No oxygen, like. And one of the things about like going to the movies, or even just when you're at home watching, you have like a good set of headphones or something, whatever. It's just like the attention to detail with the sound and the audio. And so the moment when you know his bungee cord thing got wrapped around the little cage thing, and then it finally snapped, and he got shot back into the sea, like the deafening silence that happened in that moment was fantastic. But yeah, like I said, just seeing just like the struggle and the fight of them trying to get the ship back up and running, him fighting and trying to find his way back to that base area that he needed to be at or whatever, and then him, thinking logically enough before he fully like passed out to hook himself to the top of that structure. That way, no underwater currents or nothing will sweep him away or whatever while he's unconscious and stuff. But yeah, man, it was a really really good movie. So so like I said, I'm glad that the guy survived and that he miraculously didn't have any long term effects or damage or anything like that from the incident and stuff. So yeah, so that was Last Breath. Let me know if y'all check that out. So pivoting onwards, I watched the TV show Paradise. Now, this is a show I was excited to see coming a while back. So back in the fall, I had made mention of coincidentally 3 shows starring black men, all dealing with some type of like crime or crime drama or police drama, or something with political drama, whatever, all coming out kind of back to back to back. So you had um, the show on Prime, Cross. I think that might be my favorite out of the 3, just like from top to bottom. I think that might be my favorite. Um, then you had, shoot, what was the other one? The Madness, which came out around Thanksgiving time, whatever. That one, I was still kind of on it or whatever. It was okay, but like I said, I think the thing that hurt it for me was I watched that one immediately after Cross. So I watched them back to back within the same week. So should not have done that. And so now here we are with Paradise with Sterling K. Brown. And so now I will say, even though I think Cross might be my favorite, just like the whole structure and storyline and everything, whatever, I think Paradise is good in a different way, just from the location and setup point. So basically, without the spoiler free part now, then I'll get into details in a second. So with Paradise, the thing with this is that basically Sterling K. Brown, he is basically the top uh, security guy for the president. And so the president ends up getting killed, and he is the last person that potentially saw the president. And so thus begins the journey to try to unravel the truths and what really happened and who all was involved and things like that. Now, I'll say this one immediately hooked me because of the location. So, if you don't want to know any more than that, go watch it. But I'm gonna talk about it. So, the first end of episode 1, when we get the camera pull out and the reveal that they are in a freaking underground, under a mountain city, because seemingly the rest of the world is a potentially apocalyptic wasteland, and that only several thousand, maybe like I think it was like 25,000 people of humanity were chosen to live in this paradise, in this mountain city or whatever. And so like even that moment alone, I was like, oh, I did not know. I just thought that I'm just happy to see Southern K. Brown doing some detective work stuff whatever. So that's what brought me in. But then it's like, oh, we have a very unique location. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then from there, it just continued to build and to grow from the various characters that you meet along the way, not knowing who you can and cannot trust, um, the twists and turns, and then you're also getting peppered in flashbacks with the president and with the different family members and stuff. And then probably the most soul crushing episode was I think it was the second to last episode when you kind of get the full flashback of the day things was going down and the world was falling apart and stuff. Uh, all of that stuff was super cool, man. Because like I said, just like slowly getting to like you have the present day mystery of okay, we're inside of this closed off city, so to speak, whatever, where we have a murder, the first murder in many years, because should be no weapons and stuff, whatever, in this utopia, so to speak, whatever. And then seeing that play out or whatever, and then, like I said, getting the bits and pieces of flashbacks and stuff with all the different characters, to where it's like, oh, okay, oh, this is a nice character. Like, wait, they kind of shady. Oh, they super shady. Oh, wait, no, they're actually on our side. Oh, they're dead. Oh no, wait, you killed them? Yeah, it was that type of show. But I would say overall, though, I feel like the ending was solid. Now, some of the stuff with the kind of quote unquote big bad reveal of the who done it or whatever, I wasn't really feeling that too much, or I feel like it could have been pieced together better. Maybe, well, we did kind of see that person here and there now I'm thinking about it. But I think, I don't know. I think it maybe could have been handled slightly better, but overall, though, it was still. I would say this show is still a solid high eights for me. Like I said, it's just like I said, just like some small pieces from that finale, but I think overall, this is one I highly recommend y'all giving a watch and checking out and stuff. So, but yeah, Paradise was super good, and like I said, I'm looking forward to uh, whatever they're gonna do with season 2 and stuff. So, but yeah, that episode 7, I think it was when we just see the different things from around the world and the freaking giant tsunami thing, whatever, where like the news reporters on the roof. And they're like, oh no, we're safe up here, whatever. The water, it's only going to get so high. And then she's like, what? And then the cameraman just kind of just pans up, and you see these hundreds of feet tall waves, taller than skyscrapers, just looming in the background, the darkness, and then it just washes it all away, man. It was just brutal. But yeah, but all in all, yeah, Paradise was a super good watch. Yeah, don't really have too much more to say on it. Okay, so I'm looking at like stuff that's coming up soon, trying to figure out what things are kind of like for sure watches and what other stuff is kind of question marks. Um, yeah, cause like this month, I might see if my daughters maybe want to go see that Snow White live action. They probably will. They're always down for a good time like that. Um, there's a couple of things coming out this week that I'm kind of like maybe because like that Black Bag movie with was it Charlize Theron and Michael Fassbender. It's kind of like an espionage couple thing. Opus. Uh, Looks like it might be kind of interesting to check out. The Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, maybe. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Ain't too much 100% on my radar uh, right now for this month. The Amateur is the main one I'm looking forward to, but that's not until April. Um, you know what? Okay, so other thing I'll just shout out really quickly, whatever. I won't get into too much with it, whatever, but just, man, shout out to Daredevil being back. Like, I watched those first two episodes this week. I watched episode one the night it came out, and man, they wasted no time with like the jab, just right to your gut, just like, yeah, we back and we brutal, and nobody is safe. And I was like, oh no, my heart. So, but anyway, so shout out to Daredevil being back. I'm looking forward to watching that every week as it goes on and stuff. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else like TV wise. Anime wise, I'll just say shout out to the One Piece dub because it was just announced that so the next batch of English dub episodes for One Piece are coming out in a couple of weeks. When those episodes come out, the English dub will finally be fully caught up with the Japanese sub of the One Piece anime. And even though this might be just a brief moment in time, because the new episodes of the anime have been on hiatus since October, uh, but still, it's like even if it's just for this one moment, man, because it's crazy how I remember back post COVID, so about 2020, end of 2020, going into 21, they were talking about and they put out the announcement. They're like, hey, after all these years, the One Piece dub is coming back. And so it's okay, cool. They're gonna be picking up where they left off with, which was like the end of Fishman Island, going into Punk Hazard. But the fact that in just about 3 years and some change, I believe, they did finish up Fishman Island. They did all of Punk Hazard, all of Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake Island, Wano, and freaking Egghead. That is super crazy, but I'm happy for the staff. I'm happy for the fans, like the people who, the dub fans who held out and waited, and now it's like, okay, now they can be, at least for a moment, caught up with the Japanese sub and stuff. So, but so yeah, so shout out to that crazy moment happening. And other anime stuff, whatever, nothing too much. Still just kind of chugging away at my shows. A lot of stuff I've kind of slowed down on for the last like few weeks. So I got a lot of stuff built up. The main one I'm looking forward to finishing this week is Orb. So the finale of that is coming out next Saturday. And I have about 9 episodes to catch up on, which I am happy to do. But so Orb is ending next week, and then a lot of these other shows have a few episodes left. Most of the anime this season, they're all on episode 9, 10 or so. Apothecary Diaries, super awesome. That new episode was super good. And yeah, so that's it for anime. So lastly, I'm going to touch on some manga stuff. So I got a shout out. Another treat myself I did. Picked up a couple of physical volumes because I haven't bought any physical manga in probably a year or so, whatever. But a few weeks ago, checking my bank account and I saw I had a charge from Books a Million. Oh, your membership auto renewed. It's only $25, so I wasn't tripping. But I'm like, yo, I don't even buy manga like that no more. And the other thing too, the reason why I forgot, because so for one, for those that don't know, up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, there are only 2 Books a Millions in the whole Metroplex. There are dozens of Barnes and Nobles, but only 2 Books a Millions. One of them is in Grapevine at the Grapevine Mall, which is about 15, 20 minutes. Let's say 20 or so minutes from me. Um, and then the other one is up near Denison and Sherman, which is an hour and a half away. It's like going up north, like headed towards the Oklahoma Texas border type of north. And so with it being at Grapevine, so at one point in time, years ago, um, the teams and stuff that my kids play basketball for, we were literally at Grapevine several days a week. So it'd be plenty of days, sometimes a couple of days a week, I'll be going in there just to browse around. Like, okay, hey, y'all got practice for an hour or two. Hey, I'll be down the hall because the basketball facility is what is attached to Grapevine Mall. So I would just say, they go in or whatever. I walk straight through the gym and then go out the other door and go out, walk around the mall, go over to Books a Million and stuff. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? I took a trip out there specifically today because my kids don't really play out there no more. Um, and I was like, you know what? Let me just browse around. So one of them I picked up. So this is one that I had digital access to last year, but I just never got around to reading. You know, I just kind of found myself in one of those funks where I wasn't really in the mood to read. But I still enjoyed the premise and the art of it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna support it, and that is Brunhild, the Dragon Slayer. So looking forward to finally checking this out. This cover is beautiful, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then this other one caught my attention. Like I say, titles, the cover, sometimes the coloring, because that's what caught my attention with this one. This one is The Emperor's Caretaker, Volume 1. So this just came out, like in the last few days or whatever, because this is March, yeah, first edition print, March 2025. So this is fresh off the presses. So what caught my attention was, as I'm browsing, that nice little hint of orange caught my eye because I'm like, oh, okay, what is that? And I see The Emperor's Caretaker. So I'm looking at it, I'm reading through the synopsis, and the synopsis heavily gives me a little bit of a Apothecary Diaries type of vibe as far as like the setting and stuff, whatever. So okay. So the synopsis for this is: historical romance takes off in this tale of a statesman's daughter drawn into palace intrigue. Lenoir, daughter of the Chancellor of the Right, is as gifted at caring for children as she is at playing the oru, which I think is an instrument. Her talent shined during the ceremony to select a consort for the 5-year-old emperor. There, she catches the eye of Soren, the highest ranking regent. Suddenly, Leha is swept into the vibrant world of the inner palace as a new court lady and the young emperor's personal caretaker. And like, I just browsed through like some of this while I was in the store, and some of the vibes was this dude, like the way he acted and stuff, whatever, kind of gives me Genshi vibes from Apothecary Diaries, and I was like, you know what, I gotta take a shot at this, whatever. So, and the art of it looks beautiful, so I'm looking forward to yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out. So let me go back real quick because I didn't even read the synopsis of this one. So let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so for Brunhild, blessed by the divine, Eden is an idyllic island protected from outside harm by its guardian, the silver dragon. One fateful day, the dragon finds a small girl on the island's shores, teaching her love and compassion over hatred. He raises her as his own, but their time together can't remain peaceful forever. Eden, rich in resources, is a prime target for humanity's advancing military might. The face of violence and hostility. Will the girl heed the dragon's words, and can they defend their coveted paradise? So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. Yes, same thing. It's the art and stuff in this is really good too. So yeah. So we shall see what what both of these manga hold. But yeah, aside from those, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's nothing else too much manga wise. Itchy the Witch, we crossed chapter 25, so hit that milestone. Got a beautiful color page and stuff today. One Piece chapter was good and solid. Sakamoto Days, solid, kind of building up to a new thing. Embers continues to be pretty good too. Man, dang, we're already on chapter 6 of Embers. Yeah, I'm still letting Akane Banashi build up chapters. How many behind am I now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm about 8 or 9 chapters behind on Akane. So that's going to be a great read when I finally get to it. And yeah, and there's some new stuff that Viz has picked up. There's this Parashoppers, Land of the Monsters, Sumiki Ogami's Not So Ordinary Life. So it's a lot of new stuff kind of popping up. Of course, Manga Plus with Centuria, and then they keep on doing these really cool one shots that they keep releasing and stuff over there. I'm still finding stuff on K Manga to check out. So lots of stuff to read, but I've kind of rambled on enough because it is almost midnight. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up, and who knows? Maybe I'll go read some manga tonight in bed, or maybe watch some anime. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. So, as always, thank you so much for watching and or listening. You can find me everywhere at Danny's Talk, and like I said, once again, shout out to all of the various kids across the state, across the country, whatever, that reached the highest of heights and got those state championships in basketball and stuff, both the boys and the girls, these last few weeks and stuff. So, but yeah, so shout out to all of them. And like I said, go check out the episode I did the other day if you're curious about more on the school incident situation we had to deal with last week. And hopefully I should be back to doing some more regular manga reviews. And also, next week will be the 4th anniversary of Danny's Talk. So I'm about to see what I'm going to do for that episode. Maybe just a nice little like reflection episode or something. But yeah, but anyways, I'm out. Let me know what you thought of everything I talked about today, whatever. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga. Watch some anime, TV shows, and movies. Play some video games. And live your best life. And with that, I am out. Y'all have an awesome day and or week. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.